Hello everyone and welcome back to Hearts of Iron 4, this time Graveyard of Empires, but not doing Graveyard of Empires content. With all the DLCs and changes that have happened over the many years, I actually wanted to go back and try some older stuff, particularly a Dutch achievement, Treading the Narrow Path. It can be the case that sometimes things that used to be easy become hard, and it can be the case that things that used to be hard become easy. So let's see where the Dutch rank as we try and get this achievement. Goodness, man, the gun seems like a very long time ago, but I think it should be okay. Iron Man, historical, and good to go. Okay, the Netherlands. Good starting position, apart from being next to Germany. Let's take a look at the achievement so we know what we're getting ourselves into. Treading the Narrow Path. As the Netherlands do not cave to the Germans, continue the Zuiderzee works, and do not lose control of any of your continental European states until 1945. 1945, 9 years away. Goodness, this is really a sit down and play it out kind of achievement. The core of my plan is going to revolve going for 3 focuses. Literally just 3. Continuing the Zuiderzee works, we have to get for the achievement. The war on pacifism is going to be important for getting our support up and not completely capitulating. And additionally, I would like to go down this section and probably form the Benelux. It's not that I require to own the Benelux to do the achievement, but Belgium is as part of our borders, and so if we don't control them, they might give the Germans an easy access around our backside, and you never want that to happen. Still, we're going to have to pick a focus to start with, and I think while I want to go down this section, we should quickly form a new government just to get rid of weak government, which is costing us a ton of political power. Build up some civs, boring research, and with that I think we're good to go. For the achievement, it talks about how we need to not lose any of our starting states, but a state isn't actually a tile, a province, so we can lose all of this empty land and it really doesn't matter. The main thing is keeping the big cities, Leeuwarden and Utrecht, which should keep us in the game. With my first political power, I think I'm probably just going to take an army morale guy, just to start stacking up army XP. It's better now than never. Making sure to pick up Jan here for Captain of Industry, more civilian growth, as we continue working down our industry focuses, all the way to get the Zuiderzee works. This focus takes 210 days. 210, I mean really, that is really long. I'm disappointed that I don't have a dam, or anywhere to build a dam. You'd think that a country filled with polders might have somewhere it could build a small dam, but I guess not. Now every part of me wants to take this focus, but I'm a little worried that because it takes so long to complete, we're kind of just going to get bogged down in it. Yes, there are 4 civs to get after it, and I think 4 mills later on, but ultimately, we might need to start working on other things. And if world tension can spike to 10% imminently, we can take Germany as the greater threat right on cue. So I think I'm going to overturn some military budget cuts. In terms of doctrines, I guess there could be a good argument for going Grand Battle Plan. Because of the entrenchment speed and max entrenchment, we don't want to be moving. However, I've decided that I'm probably going to hold anyway, and what's really going to destroy us in the late game is manpower loss. So maybe picking something that gives us some good manpower, human wave offensive, 5% recruitable, is the way to go. And hey, we still get +5 entrenchment from defense in depth, so mass assault. It's not actually that bad. I do hope I haven't messed up the timings on this, and we will be able to do Germany as the greater threat once I prepare the inundation lines. Hopefully. Oh, absolutely perfectly timed. Focus complete. Japan begins. So, that means we can do Germany as the greater threat. I'm very relieved to know I didn't mistime this. Which means we can now do war on pacifism, which is one of our key 3 focuses for victory. The thing that's really holding us back, of course, is the lack of war support. Stability is completely fine, but yeah, war support's bad, because we're stuck on civilian economy. I guess because civilian economy is so bad, there's even an argument that this is more important than doing the Zuiderzee works and getting all these factories, which we cannot use if we're stuck on civilian economy. France chooses to go with Britain. I'm not surprised. At least we can take some decisions to fix our war support. As far as I can tell, the other two come with negatives towards stability and also towards factory output, and considering we've absolutely stockpiled political power, I see no reason not to just get started on the one that tanks political power. So now, just before I do this focus, I'm going to very quickly do Gateway to Europe, because there are some additional decisions I want to get through while we go through the works. 10% support, that looks like we can move up to limited conscription. And with manpower now flowing in, well, I say flowing in, 500 is maybe not as much as I'd like, we may want to go look at the Dutch East Indies. They have a tremendous amount of opportunity with their millions of manpower, and we have the army XP to build a really good unit. Perhaps we should take something that they've got, maybe stick a few more friends on, and see if we can't get a unit that can really stop the Germans in their tracks. Maybe something like this can do as well. And don't forget, keep taking the decisions whenever they become available. Super important to do. Okay, if I don't do these works now, I don't know when I'm going to do them. So, 210 days. Let's begin. Oh, finally, is that manpower in my manpower reserve pool? I guess these decisions are actually doing something. Okay, good. Let's see if we can't begin training some Indonesian reserves. We might need a few of these, and by a few I mean a ton. Additionally, I'm switching out in March of 38 to start building mills. With the focus comes a series of decisions. With the focus comes some events where you can get some little buffs. I guess it's to kind of spruce up the 210-day waiting time. But the first one gives you an infrastructure buff, which isn't too useful considering that we've basically got max level infrastructure already. It feels kind of odd that the focus would give you infrastructure when the previous focuses give you infrastructure. Maybe somebody knows the maths, but is it technically better for me to have moved straight on to early mobilization instead of waiting for the 25% war support? Maybe I'm being too cautious with the political power. In fact, I probably am. But it just felt wasteful that if my intention is to get to 25% anyway, then wasting 150 just to pit stop at early mob didn't feel right. Okay, but 10% mill factory construction speed? Yes, I think that is actually worth, even if it is just for a year. Oh wait, there we go, 27%. Thank you to the Anschluss, I suppose. There we go, partial mobilization. Also, all of that political power I had saved up has literally just vanished into the air by placating the British and trying to do these decisions. It kind of feels weird to save up 400 political power, but it really is necessary. Okay, that should be one big section of the achievement complete. We did continue the Zuiderzee works, which has basically built... Actually, do you know what could be cool? Here's an idea. With Gotterdammerung, they added landmarks in, like the Eiffel Tower, but when it comes to the Netherlands, you build an island, I think, right here. It would be cool if that literal island visually displays right here when you complete the works, because then it makes logical sense, like, oh, where did that space come from? It comes from right there. With these two focuses complete then, let's turn our attentions right and cave to the British. Well, we certainly weren't caving to the Germans. With additional room to continue building military factories slowly running out, I have actually begun the provisional construction of some fortresses. So to show you, I'm planning to hold Leeuwarden, Utrecht, and the line heading south from Utrecht. Unfortunately, Arnhem and Groningen, what is this? Groningen? Unfortunately, Arnhem and Groningen have been left by the wayside, but I'm sure they'll manage. The safest option when it comes to deciding who to go with is obviously to side with the Allies. Going alone is never going to be the best option, so it's for that reason that we're going to start off by going alone. It's simply the best worst option. Our reason for not wanting to go with Britain, at least not currently, is because of these two, Belgium and Luxembourg. We have a focus called Form the Benelux, which is simply far more important to do. This right here is the run killer. If Belgium and Luxembourg do not join this faction, the Benelux, I think it's a restart. So let's hope they do. Why yes, I will get Construction 4 2 years early for 104 days. Yes, I think I will. And Concentrated Industry. Also. Okay, please join. Please. Belgium joins and Luxembourg joins. That is a huge relief. Now, if we go over to our decisions, we should get, yes, for 300 political power, propose the Benelux unification. This effectively just instantly forms a formable nation, and we inherit the Belgium Congo. Boop. Okay, now I think we're ready for Germany. To run down the final focuses I'm going to be heading for, mostly I'm going to be trying to get a new Supreme Commander because he gives us some defense. I'm going to try and work down these two focuses because they give us recruitable population and plus 10 max entrenchment, so that's Grand Battle Plan Doctrine finished right there. Of course we need to continue heading down our industry to get another research slot, as well as getting the one that's located up here, and it never helps or hurts to go down our army tree to get some land doctrine stuff. I'm not sure I can speak to just how good these Belgium divisions are, but they're not the worst in the world. They're basically just an alternative version of what we're using now. Yes, we did unite. It's all part of the plan. As we can see in our achievement log, we've basically done everything we need to do now. Just survive until 1945 and don't lose a state. Hopefully 5 speed and playing intelligently will get us to the finish line. With this newfound territory, we should probably build up some fortifications along the line. I've also started dipping into some additional tech for more fortifications. Oh, it should also be noted that now that we've formed a Benelux Federation, we literally have no use for the Benelux anymore. I fully intend on joining the Allies. Preferably when they're not led by Neville Chamberlain, but yes, joining the Allies. Italy joined Germany, it's getting close, it's getting close. Of course, bonus thing to remember, just because Germany goes after Poland, it doesn't actually mean they're going straight after us. They might take some time with Poland, they might go to Denmark. We are not necessarily first on the chopping block. Managed to pick up defence in depth just before the outbreak of World War II, so there's another 5 entrenchment. Oh. Yeah, that'll do it. Okay, more fortifications. Way more fortifications. The Dutch focus tree is always so funny because of the industry tree allowing you to get in 1939 a 100% ahead of time bonus on Industry 5. Huh. Hello friends, what brings you to my wholesome little border? And there's a paratrooper here. Huh. I am struck by how the Germans have failed to do anything. They got Poland, there's no denying that, but they seem to have forgotten the next step of coming after me. Okay, there it is. So, after they finally went after Denmark, we have got the warning. They're coming after us next. The entrenchment has been locked in. All of the divisions are trained. We have absolutely zero air force, but I'm not going to worry about it because I'm hoping the Royal Air Force will basically carry. Things are getting very noisy on this front. I think it's really kicking off. Hopefully we can manage the first brunt hit. Probably getting an infantry expert just before the conflict. I'm even tempted to switch out and stick in the army defense guy. I'll hold off on him. Maybe we can do without. There it is. Way down to 3 speed. Instantly going to join the Allies. Good, we're in a defensive conflict. I'm even tempted to head straight up to extensive. And I think I probably am going to. This manpower is going to disappear. Let's go extensive. That is a lot of green bubbles. Hopefully this lasts. And most importantly, yes, we officially haven't lost any of our starting states. Even though it clearly looks like we have not. There is one problem child, and that is this individual 55 bubble here title. This one I feel has the most chance to fall. Also, this one is looking a little problematic as well. If anything gets way too dicey, I'm literally just going to bring in an Indonesian from the back line to just carry the weight, while they cycle out on division recovery. So it's a front line of Belgium and Dutch units backed by an Indonesian line of people to just cover their retreat when necessary. Both of them are pretty strong. But in totality, it seems we have survived the initial brunt to the north. Now, as this continues and we see many more green bubbles, the front I'm actually worried about in everything I've seen is the Italian front. For some reason, the French AI just doesn't stick any units here. They do not see Italy as a threat. And this can actually completely betray your line. The Italians come in and then they push into your south. So I have begun sticking units on the Italian front on the off chance that France does nothing. I mean, look at this tile. It's just me. I completely forgot to inundate the water lines. I forgot. It seems we did lose a single tile in Belgium when I wasn't paying attention. They have literally stuck 10 units here. I wonder if the German AI has some kind of battle plan desire to always take this tile. But they seem to have laid off now, and I can just continue cycling out units where necessary. If you have the ability, try and build a little supply depot here in Savoy. The French will never do it, but they absolutely need it. So yeah, it might even actually be worth just building up a little bit of railway here too, so they can get supplies straight from Paris. They will never thank you, but it needs to be done. A nuclear warfare special projects expert. Sure, welcome to the team. This is of course 100% required for you to win and is not at all a complete distraction from what I should have been doing. 1942 Tech Advanced Computing Machines done in May of 1940. You'll love to see it. All courtesy of the wonderful Focus Phillips. On towards our research slot. Okay, there goes Italy. This is the concern. If we can survive that initial push, that will be very important. Quality over quantity. Oh yeah, we've basically caused 1 million casualties to the Germans. Where is Germany's equipment? These units are on like half supply, half equipment, and the org is in the toilet. France? France. What is this? What is going on here? Did you not get the memo? We're holding till 45, not pushing. Okay, the French have decided to do a weird push, and I can't help but think, you know, when in Rome, why not try and get some encirclements? I decided to use the Indonesian troops for this, because then I don't really lose too much. Oh my goodness, an army has just appeared. Hopefully we can get at least a small encirclement out of this, but I have no high expectations. Well, this is just a bit of a disaster, but that is exactly what I expected. Like, literally what I expected. The French have pushed too hard, they're not defending anything around the back. That is not my problem. I don't care how many units France sends into this pocket. This is a disaster waiting to happen. The Germans have resupplied their units. It's trending up, not down, which means this could easily go south very quickly. Interestingly, we technically own the Rhineland, which means we're really cutting off their industry right now. As good as Dirk has been for our country, I'm not sure his anti-war support position as a defeatist is really what we're looking for right now, although it is funny that he gave us some surrender limit. Luckily, and I often forget this, we can replace the defeatist government with a new government and get ourselves Little Churchill, giving us 5% war support. Just got Human Wave Offensive, giving us 5% recruitable population and reinforce rate. All the bonuses are really stacking up now. All that's left to get is some recovery rate and we're done. After some harsh discussion, the Queen has decided to fire the defeatist ministers. He stepped down for health reasons. Surely. That's quite okay. Oh my goodness, we got atomic research as well. That's okay, because it means I can do something I've been waiting on doing, skip over war economy, go straight into total mobilization, and then instantly use the political power to get women in the workforce. Collectively, that should have raised our industry a great deal. Additionally, it means we can also go to experimental facilities and get started on nuclear reactors. As far as I'm concerned, this is getting fueled by the Rhineland. This is paying for itself. Oh, we just lost control of Rhineland. I knew they'd push us out. I knew it. There is justification of war against us or our allies by Japan. It seems they're going after the Dutch East Indies. Luckily, taking the Dutch East Indies doesn't cancel our achievement. It may be a starting state, but it's not our starting state. Oh, the United States joins. Well, I guess if Japan is joining, then of course America's going to join, and that has basically secured the victory. Because if we're holding against Germany now, they do not have the strength to continue once America joins. They literally haven't even started against the Soviets. Screw it, let's see if we can take Sardinia. I don't even need the French for this. This is a pretty straightforward walk to victory. I mean, we are literally just having reached 1942, which means there's only 3 more years until the challenge is complete. So yeah, I've actually started building up a bit of an army to take down Italy. Once Italy falls, then things really get into gear. I think there's no time like the present. I can't say I have super high hopes for these invasions, but maybe we should just see how things go down. Bring it all the way down to free speed and let's see the landings. It feels like some of these ports have been left completely undefended, but maybe I'm wrong? Or maybe I'm not wrong and we just land. Okay, is there anything here worth holding? In fact, I'd argue that a lot of these places are far more undefended than they probably should be. Ah yes, even more landings. You'll love to see it. That's a pretty good beachhead. I'd say it's a really good beachhead. The word of the day now should be anybody who can attack, should attack. And reinforcements have started arriving on the shores. They're a little confused about where they need to go, but we can just manually move them around. Okay, something of a resistance force is beginning to appear on the northern border, but this is also something I kind of expected. 68% capitulation, and Mussolini hasn't even been deposed yet. Okay, good pushes, good pushes, good pushes. I've noticed that my allies have started appearing, a little bit late to the party maybe, but they have started appearing. No doubt to try and claim the glory of my victory. Finally he's deposed. He took his time with that one. It's, you know, only literally more than half the country has been entirely taken, but sure, I guess now is the time to officially resign. Push, push, push. 93% on Italy. Oh, the Germans have started coming in here as well now. It's really stacking up, like 10 units per tile. Oh, I don't know if I can take that down. That might be some red bubbles. And a civil war has begun. We find ourselves in control of Italian territory. I suppose we should probably transfer the territory. We don't want to be having to garrison everything. I think I'm safe to say that Italy, while it clearly is still under some kind of conflict, is going to be safely in the hands of the Americans now, who have 35 very good units to defend it. So yeah, I don't think it's necessarily going to fall, but we did good to get Regno del Sol. Sud. The next goal, as you might well see from my battle plans, is to take my combat army and see if we can push forward. The British were kind enough to give me some expeditionary forces, so I'm going to use these to try and do some minor encirclements. Not the most thrilling encirclement in the world, taking down 2 units and a horse, but 2 units and a horse isn't terrible either. I don't believe it, we're in. There we go, we are inside. And that pocket is way bigger than I remember it being. 4, 6, 7 units and a horse. I think in about 1 month, I'm going to try and do the big push. It may only be, what is that, 5 months since the beginning of the invasion of Italy, but I have full confidence that this ridiculous amount of units will hold against the Italians. They don't have any factories. So yeah, lots of battle planning and hopefully just pushing straight through. Oh, I'm sorry, if the Americans are going, then I'm definitely going. Screw waiting a month. Off we go. Maybe I should go back down to free speed because some of these breakthroughs are going so quickly. We need to take advantage of everything just as it happens. Is the road to Berlin open? Oh, they don't like the flooding, do they? I suppose we can drain the water lines. It does feel like things are turning in our favour. Okay, while I've seen majority green bubbles up until the final push against Magdeburg, it does feel like we're really slowing down. It is helpful though that the Americans and the French have decided to show up with backup to at least garrison the lines that I'm pushing. It doesn't matter how much of a defence they put up, I am taking Berlin. Not America, not France, me. Green button online, how many of these bubbles are actually going to stay green? There's a red, but some greens in there too, not all terrible. If I take Berlin, this push was worth it. I'm even losing territory in the north, doesn't matter. If I take Berlin, was worth. Oh yeah, just casually throw like 11 units in there. Oh yeah, it's fine, that's completely fair. Okay, back to pushing Berlin. Come on, just take it. Just get in there. Okay, there we go. Phew. I wonder if they'll allow me a cheeky liberation of Poland. Okay, Poland is back. My hope is that with Poland back, maybe they can defend this front a little better. What an absolute slog it is on the Maginot line. I mean seriously, why would I ever want to waste my time down here when there is so much action to be had over here? I suppose trying to fight through the Sudetenland with all of their forts can really destroy you. Screw it, I'm not going to wait around any longer. How many greens do we have? Ah, that's a pretty good amount of green. In some ways, I guess the main goal is if we just take the German core states, it doesn't really matter if we liberate Prague. It's a long way to Vienna, it's a long way to go. That's quite the breakthrough, mainly just 3 units doing all the heavy lifting. I think a capitulation is imminent. I wonder if we can do a small naval invasion and reclaim Greece prior to the capitulation of Germany. Oh. Yes, it fell to me to do the final bit of pushing as well, because of course it did. When does it ever not? Okay, so here's my plan for that peace conference. I hope to get basically everything, which is Germany, Austria and Bohemia, to the extent that I possibly can. Ah, it's already begun, they're demanding my stuff. Yep, it's ridiculous. Well, I'm glad we're all going to be cordial about this. That's the most important thing, right? I'd say that's pretty good. We still have a good 1,000 left. Is there anything I'm allowed to, like, steal? I guess something like that, and we're done. The Treaty of Berlin. We have taken 38 states. My goodness. We still have a year and a half before we actually get the achievement, which is kind of funny. But I'm pretty happy to say that Europe has been saved. I'm not sure how I feel about Transylvania existing and Romania being carved into this weird shape, but I guess Moldova has moved over slightly to the left. Japan is coming after me. I mean, it makes sense, but at the same time, why? Okay, we are encountering a little bit of resistance actually. Goodness, they've got some strong defense. Oof, we took Yokohama, which should mean, should being the key word here, we can get our mainline army onto the mainland. Oh, we even took Hiroshima. I guess that's the problem when most of your army is currently fighting inside of what remains of Manchukuo. I was wondering if there was going to be more than this. There really isn't anybody here. Well, you know what they say, never look a gift horse in the mouth. Ah yes, and my 76 war participation for basically doing all the work. You love to see it. The year is now 1944. I guess we're in the end game now. What is the situation? The Treaty of Brussels. Well, considering it's called the Treaty of Brussels and I own Brussels, it would kind of be weird if I didn't sign it. The eastern threat must be contained. Ah, yes, this is victory. Only half a year left until we get the achievement, and it seems we've unlocked one nuke. Wow. Oppenheimer, eat your heart out. And I think after all that, we are finished. Treading the narrow path. Ugh. Late game HOI4 can be such a slog, but luckily we seem to have come out on top. We've united the Benelux, haven't lost a single state since we began, conquered all of Germany and Denmark and the Czechs. I also own Greenland and a bit of Japan in case you were wondering, and Austria and Italy. So yeah, I think we've done pretty good. We are the only nuclear power in the world that I know of, and we're in a very strong position to keep going. But this video is so long because getting here is so long. I think this patch is a great patch for you to try and get this achievement. So basically follow the stuff I did at the start and try to cycle out your units whenever you can. You don't want the Germans getting in. With that, I'll say thank you very much for watching. If you liked, feel free to like, feel free to subscribe, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!